Hello and welcome back to the educationalpath.com teacher training. This is a video tutorial to talk about results. Okay, so let's put a scenario in which you're teaching a student, is pre-intermediate, and you see how he or she, you feel how they're learning, and that obviously motivates you as a teacher. But that is not always the case. You might have a student that might not be very motivated, and or you might have a student that is not very intelligent or not very able for learning languages. You might not you might not feel these results as much. That does not mean that you as a teacher are failing. That student, for whatever reason, wants to continue with us, and therefore he or she um, 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 needs to be provided lessons in which he or she learns as fast as possible, even though that might be very slowly. Now, there are also other cases in which the student might be learning very quickly, but you don't feel it. One case is for very, very young students. And at educationalpaths.com, we are interested in very young learners, mainly because we know that they're learning very quickly, especially languages. To become bilingual, it is very, very important that they start with very, very young age. Now, obviously, this baby girl probably doesn't speak any language, never mind learning a foreign one. So it's very likely that whatever you say, she doesn't answer back. But that does not mean that she's not learning. It's just the opposite. Students that are very, very young and they have not quite acquired a language learn English or any other language more efficiently. Okay, and so that's very, very important that we're teaching very young students and you feel that the learning might not be easily observed but is there. There is also another case, and these are the cases for very advanced students, students that already have a certificate, say B2, C1, or even C2 students. Now, again, they might be learning very quickly, but you might not feel it. But for very advanced students, because the learning goes in a graph like this one. So this is the time, and this is the learning. So at the beginning, any learner, you will see that the slope is very steep, so it's learning very, very quickly. But then towards the end, it kind of like it doesn't get as steep. In fact, the slope is reduced all the time, gradually. So at the end, it's kind of like flat. But there is kind of like a limit on how much a person can learn. And the more that a person learns, the more difficult it becomes to learn more in a language. But that does not mean that that person is not learning. So if you happen to teach a very advanced student, think that mainly their perception, maybe not yours, but their perception is that they're not learning, and you need to encourage them to continue because otherwise, again, they drop. They feel that they're not learning anymore. Sometimes they might feel that it's not just not learning; they might forgetting what they have already learned, and sometimes is the case. But it just goes up and down all the time. Yeah? So in any case, if you really want to think about how much a student of yours is learning, you should not just feel it, but eventually evaluate it. That's something that is very, very difficult for very young students, but is not impossible. You may test by checking how much he or she reacts and in which ways he or she reacts to your communication. And it's also quite difficult to test how much a very advanced student has learned, has improved. For a very similar reason, you might do a test, but then the scores might be very, very, very similar from one test to the other. So you have to, think of matter of like results, such as vocabulary that is learned, etc. Okay. Hope this has helped you keep your motivation up when you have students that you don't feel that they're learning. because in some of these cases they might be learning more than others that you might feel that they're learning a lot. So it's important to check this way. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you around soon.